Javier Milei announced that foreigners could buy Argentinian land and develop it after fires. Isn't that convenient? He also, even more conveniently, cut the funding for fire services around 70%.
I'd like to talk to you about what's happening in Argentina, and it looks like another Israel-funded atrocity is happening. Here's Israel tourists caught causing huge fires in Argentina in a forest full of natural resources. An Israeli tourist was caught lighting fires in Los Glaciares National Park in the Argentina Patagonia a couple of days ago, and that's the fire that they caused. And now we know Argentina exposes Israeli takeover plan. The government is in on it. Manuel Adomi, the Argentina presidential spokesman, just blew the lid on the secret Israeli operation. Israelis are starting massive fires in Argentina to exploit a loophole recently placed by the Zionist government into Argentinian law. So protected rural and conserved lands can now be sold to foreign private entities once a fire passes through. They used to be illegal in Argentina. So Javier Milei he's a puppet of Israel. There's pictures of him kissing the wall. Here, I'll show you. Want to see? Here's our guy. Here's our guy. Here he is. That guy is now president of Argentina. He repeals the law that says foreigners can't buy up land that has been victim of a fire. He repealed it. Why would he do that? Well, because it looks like he's working for them. And let me do this.
I know you haven't heard everything I'm about to tell you. So there are massive wildfires destroying Patagonia right now. 50,000 acres have been burnt down. They started around January 5th. Less than 1 month ago, December 9th, Javier Milei announced that foreigners could buy Argentinian land and develop it after fires. Isn't that convenient? He also, even more conveniently, cut the funding for fire services around 70%. Argentina, along with Brazil, Chile, and Venezuela, make up what is called the Southern Common Market. They've signed agreements with Europe and the United Kingdom. Whoever governs these territories will control the food supply for Europe and the United Kingdom. In 1904, Theodor Herzl, the ideological creator of Israel, wrote about Palestine or Argentina, saying that we will take what is given to us and what is selected by Jewish public opinion. In Patagonia, Israeli Defense Forces do land surveys for the state of Israel in both Chile and Argentina. Chilean Senator Henio Tuma Sadan says they're constantly gathering more information on the topography of the region. They may know more than the Chilean army. This Argentinian wildlife survivor says he's no longer shocked by what is happening. He says it is 100% deliberate and international. It is a land grab driven by the value of their minerals. He also says the mainstream media will not speak out for them, and neither will the so-called new media. Yesterday, 4 Israeli tourists were detained by Chile's park rangers for starting an illegal fire. This isn't the first time this has happened. This has happened dozens of times in the last 2 decades. There's even an Israeli organization called Backpackers Without Borders. It sounds super innocent, but these people have been the primary culprits responsible for lighting many fires in Patagonia. Some people refer to this as Plan Andina. This has been waved away as a rampant conspiracy.
When I lived in Valparaiso, there was a time when I was a neighbor of an Israelite community, an evangelical Israeli community. And one day I had some beers with an Israeli descendant. And he told me that Chile and also Argentina, especially Patagonia, belongs to them.
Javier Milei passed strict hate speech laws where people will go to jail for up to 9 years for anti-Semitism. So discussing Israeli purchase of land or discussing conspiracies attached to this is considered anti-Semitism and will land you in jail.
So if this is happening right out in the open, they're doing this right now.
With an Israeli descendant. And he told me that Chile and also Argentina, especially Patagonia, belongs to them. Neighbor of an Israelite community, an evangelical Israeli community. And one day I had some beers with an Israeli descendant. And he told me that Chile and also Argentina, especially Patagonia, belongs to them.
Javier Milei passed strict hate speech laws where people will go to jail for up to...
The episode you're thinking of is Ghosts of War. In it, RoboCop encounters his friend, Frank Uno, who returns from South America as a veteran, now calling himself Combat Bill, leading to a gunfight.
If they send their military to a country, it's because we want to steal their natural resources and overthrow their democratically elected government, install a puppet so our capitalists, which actually run our government, can extract wealth from that country. That's if you read Confessions of an Economic Hitman, or war is a racket. If you know anything about the United States military's history since it started, that's all we do. And now, watch this. This is the U.S. Southcom commander. And she's talking about Latin America's natural resources that are so rich in resources, it's off the charts. She says 60% of the world's lithium is in the region. You have heavy crude. You have light sweet crude. You have rare earth elements. You have the Amazon.
A juicy booty on that South America.
Yes. You want to hear her? Here she is.
This region is so rich in resources. It's off the charts rich. And they have a lot to be proud of. And our competitors and adversaries also know how rich in the resources that this region is. 60% of the world's lithium is in the region. You have heavy crude. You have light sweet crude. You have rare earth elements.
And we have a military that's going to get all those for our capitalists in America.
She will be mine. Oh, yes.
Who is she? She's General Laura Richardson. She's dual military family, wife, mother, sister, daughter. Now, I don't know if you know this, but she misspelled dual. She used so dual, the way she means it, is spelled D-U-A-L. But the
she
way
fights other military families.
But the way she spelled it means she's fighting other military families, her wife, her mother, her sister, and her daughter. She's dueling.
That's the list of people she's beaten in a fair duel.
She's dueling. So that's who this is, and that's what she's saying. Let's go look what. If this was a Russian general speaking like this about Ukraine and any other neighboring country, it wouldn't leave Twitter for a month. So this is not going to make a dent on Twitter. So her saying all this crap is not going to make a dent on Twitter. And it won't make a dent in our culture. It won't make a dent in our corporate news media. It won't become something that we talk about in our cultural consciousness. It's something that we repress.
Well, then when we, go in to free them or whatever, you'll see this pop, I guess this will pop up back in on your show. This clip when we're going in.
We got to bring some democracy to the Amazon. That's what they're going to say. General Richardson wants to solve Venezuela democratically.
Oh, man. Don't make me come down there and democratically solve your shit.
Having this resolved peacefully and democratically is obviously where we want to go with Venezuela. And I meet in Venezuela or in Miami a lot.
Obviously, we have to say that we care about democracy in Venezuela, even though we undermine it at every turn, because when they have democracy and they elect people, we don't like how it turns out. So
our plans for Venezuela and Havana are as diverse as the breakfast tacos of San Antonio.